Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pilot Dump here on the Pack Theater's lovely little Twitch room, our little Twitch hideaway here on the internet. My name's Brandon. I am the writer of this week's pilot. Um, it is called the all new All-90s Adventures of George Harrison in the 1990s. This pilot deigns to answer the question, what was George Harrison doing in the 1990s? And the answer will probably surprise you. It's a multimedia, multi-format spectacle with puppets and songs and a lot of other really crazy bullshit. And I wrote a part for myself to play Burl Ives because I watched Burl Ives clips for about an hour last night while I was finishing this. So yeah, we've got a great cast tonight too. We've got Cheyenne Perez as George Harrison, which was, if you never saw Cheyenne do George at a tantrum show, it is truly one of the best things that happens on that stage. It's almost like you're doing LSD, even if you're not. And then we've got some of your other favorites like Gillian Dunn and Nick Gligor and Alex Facella and Mike Rose and C.K. Kimball and Bess Corzato and me. So yeah, I think that's probably give everybody enough time to get on in here, get going. Kid husband, yeah, I'm glad I had you at puppets. So yeah, let's get this going, shall we?
We shall.
And we'll start in 4 Beatles, 3 Beatles, 2 Beatles, 1 Beatle.
Exterior, the skies above England day. We whoosh through the calm blue UK skies. Rainbows, clouds, birds. We begin to band down towards London as we hear.
'Twas a long time ago, longer now than it seems, in a place that perhaps you've seen in your dreams. You've heard of Funkadelic, Van Halen, or Eagles, but have you ever wondered what became of the Beatles?
The camera settles on exterior Apple Corps building day, where the Beatles are playing on the rooftop as seen in the hit feature film Get Back. They're chugging along on the Get Back vamp. Text, London, 1966. We hold tight on George for a moment before the camera begins to rise up and up, past the clouds and the birds and the rainbows, and up. Exterior Angel Corps building, heaven, holy day. We float past the pearly gates, eventually settling on a building marked Angel Corps, where a similar looking band is playing a very similar sounding song. We pan past John and over to George again. He looks kind of sad.
It was rather quite fun, way back in the day, where me and me mates, the Beatles, would play. But up here in heaven, it's a terrible sitch. We had to replace Ringo with
The drums begin playing an incredibly elaborate jazz solo. We whip pan over to see that it's not Ringo behind the kit, but in fact,
Old Butty Rich.
God damn it, buddy, we talked about the drum solos.
Hey, fuck you, Lennon! You're a mediocre musician and a subpar gentleman.
Fuck you, I wrote Imagine.
Yeah, you keep saying that, and yet that isn't helping your case, friend. My solos are saving this song.
My lyrics are making the song.
We used to have Preston, the best keys man alive, but in heaven on synth, we stuck with Beryl Ives.
we pan over to Burl Ives, standing behind an incredibly elaborate Moog rig.
Would anyone like to hear a mournful Civil War era ballad about goober peas?
No!
New Beatles, calm down. Let's all just take 15. Everybody take a breath, do some yoga, savor the many amenities available to us here in heaven.
John Lennon, Buddy Rich, and Burl Ives grumble and nod. They leave. George puts his guitar down and sits on the edge of the roof, looking forlornly at the rest of heaven.
I just don't understand what the problem is. We're all geniuses, and yet we sound like a leaky loo. Oh, boo to be a leaky loo.
We see an angel behind a recording console with a big pair of headphones over his head, but under his halo.
Mr. Harrison?
Yes, recording technician angel.
Should I stop the tape?
No, keep it running in case I think I'll say something casually profound,
Copy that.
I can't believe that I, George Harrison, can make my band, the New Beatles, get along and work together. It was so easily in the Beatles and the Traveling Wilburys and the That actually reminds me of a story from a dark time. Time in my life where literally no one in the world knew where I was or what I was doing. A time called the 1990s.
Title card: The all-new, all-90s Adventures of George Harrison in the 1990s. Smash cut 2, interior George's house day. Text: 1993. George is at his most mullety, pacing around the house with his guitar. The phone rings. George picks it up.
Go for 1993, George Harrison.
On the other end is Chevy Chase, sitting in his office in front of a giant sign for the Chevy Chase Show.
Hey, George. Yeah, Chevy Chase. Host of the Chevy Chase Show.
Of course, the thing you're most known for.
Right? Yeah, you'd think I'd be remembered for being a colossal asshole and genuinely abhorrent person, but nope. It's the Chevy Chase Show. So
life's so funny, your life that way.
Yeah. That's a dumb poem you just said.
Yeah.
I wanted to see how the song you're writing for your star appearance on the Chevy Chase Show is coming along.
It was coming along terribly. I thought I'd written a tip-top new tune, but it turns out it was just American Pie by Don McLean. It's gone great, Chevy Chase.
Oh.
Can't wait to debut it on your show tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night? Baby, tomorrow night is tonight.
Tonight! No cheese and crackers. It's cold hard cheese and crackers.
Oh, okay. Well, what's it sound like?
He begins frantically looking around the room.
It's a bit like,
He sees a photo of himself and Elvis.
Yeah,
Elvis has pulled a loaded gun on George, but they're both smiling.
Elvis, by way of...
He sees a trash bin filled with Grammys and other incredibly prestigious awards.
Garbage with a bit of them.
He looks out the window and spots the nearest building, an imposing brutalist sanitarium. Miss Benedict's home for the loony.
A bit of madness thrown in for a bit of pleasure.
Okay. All right, an Elvish tune. That sounds like garbage with elements of pioneering two-tone British ska band Madness.
Yes.
Oh, George, you got to stop taking LSD, Pete Best. I got to go. See you tonight.
He hangs up.
LSD. That gives me an idea.
What else but a Star Wipe 2? Interior George's house moments later. George has a stack of LSD, roughly as thick as a flip book. He flips the strips like a flip book, showing a little animated George playing guitar until his eyes bug out of his head. He places the entire stack on his tongue and closes his mouth.
Nothing like a little LSD to get the creative brain going.
Spin Dissolve 2. Interior George's house moments later. George is lying on the floor with the guitar on his face. Another Spin Dissolve 2. Interior George's living room many hours later. George pulls the finishing touches on some lyrics with a big fancy quill.
Dad! It's me. It's me next big song, but it feels like it needs something else. Yeah, better ask one of me famously prolific friends for some notes. Potter! Bring me the cellular telephone, the newest, most 90s form of communication that I use daily, please.
Butler wheels in a cell phone roughly the size of a bar cart.
Your mobile, sir.
Wonderful. Ring up Jeff Lynne. He's still alive.
Cut to exterior outer space. The spaceship from the cover of The Very Best of Electric Light Orchestra whizzes through the cosmos. It looks like the bumper of a giant pinball machine with ELO written in the center. Interior ELO headquarters simultaneous. Jeff Lynne sits before a massive wall of TV screens, all trained to footage of synthesizers, like Osmandius from Watchmen.
George, always nice to hear from a fellow Wilbury. Hey, quick question for you. Am I British?
You know, I'm not sure.
Me either. Oh well. What's shaking, G-Swank?
Oh, Jeff Lynne, I've got to write a new song for Chevy Chase, but it feels like it's missing something. Would you like to hear it?
I'd love to. Fax it over to me and I'll give it a listen.
Fax you a song?
The Electric Light Orchestra only uses the most current high-tech forms of communication. It's the 1990s after all. Fax me that tune, baby. Hey, I gotta go. Some of my synthesizers have gained sentience. Can't wait to hear it.
He hangs up. He begins to gently stroke a nearby synthesizer.
Who's a good little synth? I am.
Click. Interior George's living room.
What an old fellow.
George walks across the room to his fax machine, down at his fax machine. He stares at it, puzzled.
Sure.
I read it puzzled.
Yeah.
Oh, bother. Yet another vexing piece of modern technology. Hello, Frederica Fax Machine. I would like to send this song to my pal Jeff Lynne. He's in the electric mayhem and lives in a spaceship.
The fax machine comes to life with a cough. He sounds like a grizzled old dock worker.
Okay, hold on just a fucking second, George Harrison. Bothering me during my smoke break. I got right here for you. My big arm fucking dick.
Thank you, Federico Fax Machine.
Alrighty, let's do this.
He opens his mouth wide with a big... George inserts the notebook into the fax machine's mouth. A really grungy sounding dial tone begins to play as the fax machine chews on the paper. After a moment, he spits it out.
Sorry, George. Something's gone troppo in my guts and it don't want to send. Been having issues like this for a few days. Just can't get me guts and the phone line to work together.
Oh my mittens! Is there anything I can do to help Federico Fax Machine?
Open me up and take a look inside. There might be something gunked up in my robo-guts. I'm basically just a printer they glue gun to a phone, too. So this just happens pretty frequently.
Sure thing, Frankie Fax Machine, the fax guy.
He turns the fax machine around, revealing a back panel. He clicks it open and sticks his entire head inside.
Sure dark in your butthole, Federico Fax Machine.
That's what my ex-wife used to say.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but she was a tape deck, so it was worth it. 4-track tape head and auto cassette flip. And the pussy like wowzers.
Oh, you gross. I think I'm stuck! What should I do?
Just keep on going, you'll get in there.
George crawls further into the fax machine. He eventually falls through the opening. Interior fax machine later. It looks like a semi-fancy modern warehouse. It's filled with marionette people, all of whom just so happen to be named after the people playing them today, going about the business of making a fax machine work. Think the Jukebox Band on Shining Time Station, a show no one has seen except Brandon. The centerpiece is what looks to be a giant pipe organ combined with an old telephone switcher from the 1930s. The Hayhurst marionette sits at the keyboard. We hear what sounds like a really fucked up dial tone.
Try it now.
Hayhurst marionette, who is actually Scorzato marionette, plays a note. It's even worse. Ugh, no, that's way worse.
Ugh, sounds like widespread panic.
Yeah, you're right. That really sucks. Let's try again, gang.
Mike and several other marionettes quickly rearrange a bunch of phone wires jacked into the organ.
Try it now.
Scorzato marionette hits a note again. We hear what sounds like a sheep's bleat played through a ring modulator. The CK marionette approaches, decked out in a ton of tool belts and helpful-looking gear.
Nah, you knuckleheads are doing it all wrong. That's not how you make a dial tone. This is how you make a dial tone.
She whacks the thing with a hammer once. Scorzato presses a key. Fire shoots out of the organ pipes.
Hell yeah!
Oh, not this again.
The fire will clean any bugs out of the pipes. It could be bugs.
Creak! The marionettes go silent as they hear a door open. In walks George, now also a marionette.
Hello. Why do you mean like feel for me?
Marionette George looks at his hands.
Oh no! I'm in Yellow Submarine again! Hello? Is
Mike
someone
Marionette
supposed to
says,
talk to me? Otherwise,
I was
can-
unmuted. Can we help you, champ?
Oh, I didn't know you wanted to talk to me, but now that you do, hello, fax machine friends! My name is George Harrison, and I'm trying to send a fax, but something's not working.
You think we don't know that, idiot?
Yeah, idiot. You think we don't know that?
I don't. What?
Get out of here, idiot! You're the least helpful beetle.
I most certainly am not. That's certainly Pete Best or the other bloke who was around before Ringo, you know.
They don't count.
Sorry?
he hangs his head in shame. The marionettes look at each other guiltily.
We're sorry we snapped at you, puppet George Harrison.
I'm not.
She's not, but the rest of us are. We haven't been able to send a fax in days. We can't get the dial tone to sound right.
We're trying to find the perfect harmony between sound and data. When they work together, they can send pages medium fast. But when they're out of sync, well, she hits a button on the keyboard. It makes a loud, echoing burp sound.
Sounds like wings.
Marionette George glances at the camera.
Got him.
He winks.
Sounds to me like you all need some help working together.
No, we don't.
No.
Shut up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
maybe-
okay.
Maybe we
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That was all together. You know, I used to play in a little rock and roll band, and you know.
Yeah, we know.
And I wasn't trying to bad. It was me. I was like,
Yeah, we know who you are. There's no point in being coy.
Or coquettish.
Or Caligula.
Mm.
Okay, not a word. Back in the Beatles, we had this thing. Beat for one and beat for all. If it doesn't fully track, that's fine. What it means.
Working together. Yeah, we get the moral guy.
A siren goes off.
Fax incoming!
Everybody panics and runs around in circles. The paper George tried to fax, now massive, comes flying into the room, accompanied by a really gnarly dial tone sound.
Battle stations!
They all start doing a lot of very intense-looking work on and around the fax organ thing. The dial tone just gets more and more gnarly, and the piece of paper becomes more and more crumpled up, like it's jammed.
Guys, stop! Ah! Maybe if you, I don't know, listen to each other, I don't know, you would work together better, maybe, I don't know, just
They all grumble.
Grumble.
Fine. I'll take the paper data converter. CK, you invert the scanning spinner. Hayhurst, you're on a leakage clean up and alto backing vocals.
But if I'm handling the leakage, then who's going to set the destination coordinates?
Sure.
Who, Mike? Who?
George Harrison.
Yeah, me! George Harrison.
George climbs up to the top of the pipe organ thing. The siren goes off again.
Resend incoming! They're trying it again, people!
All right, everybody follow my lead. I mean our lead.
He winks at George. The cacophonous sound of the organ begins to sound more and more like a pleasant dial tone.
It's working. You crazy son of a beetle. It's working!
They all begin working together like a bunch of doozers, and it's very adorable.
All right, George, it's up to you now.
On top of the organ, a lever appears. George pulls it. Excuse me. On top of the organ, a lever appears. George pulls it, and the dial tone modulates to sound like the opening guitar line from My Sweet Lord. The paper folds up like a paper airplane and flies away.
We did it.
See, if you work together, you can make beautiful music. Just like a little land I used to be
The
in.
Beatles.
Wilbur.
No.
Okay. My sweet Lord, you people are uptight. Just a joke. That's it. I figured out my new song. Thanks, fax machine friends. I've got a song to finish. I'll see you all soon, me wood blokes.
We all wave goodbye to George as he dashes out. There's a beat of silence. I really didn't want him to come to the after party.
Oh my God, me neither. Whew.
That would have been the worst. Well, time for the Marionette orgy.
Woo!
Hooray!
Hell yeah.
Hooray.
Interior, George's living room moments later. George climbs out of the fax machine, covered in fax machine goop. Frederico fax machine is now smoking a cigarette.
Oh boy, you really cleaned me up out in there. I feel like I should tip you. Damn.
Ooh, that would be lovely.
Well, here's a tip for you. My big dick.
Thank you, Federico Fax Machine.
Now get the fuck out of here. It's time for my favorite show, the Chevy Chase Show.
Oh no, I'm late. Can you send one last fax to me, Federico Fax Machine?
I mean, I got like a 40-minute refractory period, but you fixed me, so I'll give it. What you faxing?
Me!
Wait, what? Hold on.
He pries open the fax machine's mouth and leaps inside.
To the Chevy Chase Show!
The fax machine swallows him with a big gulp. Interior fax machine town. George flies over the town on a rainbow. The fax machine people smile and wave while having their marionette orgy. They just kind of bump into each other. Interior Chevy Chase Show office. Copy and fax room. Moments later. The room is silent. The double-decker copier and fax machine suddenly yelps in pain as its lid is forced open and George Harrison emerges with a burst of confetti.
Come on, fax machines and copiers!
They all come to life and follow George out of the room. A terrified PA stands in the corner, unsure of what the hell just happened. Interior, the Chevy Chase Show stage, night.
And we're back in 5, 4, 3.
And now, the only man who'll make you miss Dennis Miller, Mr. Chevy Chase.
Lights up on Chevy at his desk.
Thank you. Thank you. My musical guest tonight is one of the Rolling Stones or something. I don't know. Who cares? I'm garbage. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. George Harrison.
The curtain opens, revealing George with his guitar, accompanied by a band made entirely of fax machines and double-level copier scanners. He plays the chords to My Sweet Lord.
This is my new song about working together. I hope you learn as much listening to it as I learn about writing it. 1, 2, 3. Fax machine.
Da-da-da-da.
Ooh, fax machine.
Fax
Machine.
Fax machine.
You're gonna send my fax forms.
Da-da.
You're gonna send my divorce forms.
Machine.
You're gonna send my medical forms, and it won't
Fax
take on my phone.
machine. Fax machine.
I think we lost George.
Frederico Fax Machine from earlier suddenly appears on stage. He opens his mouth and all of Fax Machine Town flies out and begins doing a can-can, along with some mini Fax Machine marionettes. Marionette George Harrison is also there too.
My friends, you made it!
We love you,
George.
You're our god and our boyfriend. Wink. They all begin singing along. We begin to pan up out of the studio and towards heaven.
And that's the story of how I took LSD and discovered the fax machine.
Exterior, Angel Corps building, heaven, holy day. George is standing on the rooftop with the rest of the new Beatles.
And that's the story how I took LSD and discovered the fax machine. And taught some unlucky friends on how to work together.
Yeah, you're a waste of a person, George Harrison. That was in no way helpful.
I'd have bust your lip, boy. Wasted my time like that. June, which one's my punching fist?
Buddy
Whoa.
Rich and Johnny Cash look at each other and start throwing punches.
Oh, bother. I guess teamwork doesn't always make the dream work.
I understood what you meant, George Harrison. Now, I may not be a master Moog player, but I voiced a singing snowman once, so I know a thing or two about teamwork.
Thanks, Burl Ives.
Now, George, I have a question for you.
What is it, Burl Ives?
What were you doing for the rest of the 1990s?
Well, that's a story
He winks at the camera.
for another time. Good night, everybody.
The end.
Yay, we did it! We did it!
Well done.
We did it! Thank you all for watching and listening and reading this insane script. Glicker, your use of drumsticks was choice. Yeah, thanks for tuning into Pilot Dump. That's it for this week. We'll be back next week with a different dumping a different pilot. So come check it out. Yeah. Good night, everybody. Let's go watch the Chevy Chase show on YouTube.
Chevy Chase show. I'm going right
Chevy
now.
Chase show. Chevy Chase show. Chevy Chase show.
Chase show.
Chevy Chase show.
Chevy Chase show.
Chevy Chase show. Chevy Chase